It really does close the gap between design and development. A lot is lost in communication between both parties, but now when I can actually mock up how I want things to happen, it's a great time to be alive. Flutterflow is a mobile app development platform that's hosted online, and you use it to build and deploy mobile applications. It's very similar to prototyping tools that designers are familiar with, like Figma, Framer, and Webflow, and a host of other ones that are available. But myself and the rest of the team at Plus Narrative are getting really excited about this because it's got a lot of the functionality that traditionally is not really available in prototyping platforms and the kind of no-code tools that you see online. Flutterflow itself is a mixture of this no-code designers building apps story, but it's also got a lot of integrations with development features where you can write code into it. So it's a nice balance. And for anyone watching that doesn't really know what the no-code means, it's basically like the platform where I, as a designer, can build an application without knowing how to code. You can see in my editor here, I've got various components that I can drag and drop into the application here. Let me just do an example. I'm going to put a button in between the login and register. So traditionally, it's a developer that needs to write code that specifies that there's going to be a button there. And I, as a designer, have just used this nice fancy tool where I can drag and drop into the actual editor. So the next thing I'm going to show you is what this app actually functions like when I test it. It's not going to show this button because I haven't saved it yet. So here's a nice example of it in its run mode. So I've built a login screen, and this login actually connects to a database, so that is already leagues ahead of the other tools, allowing us to actually like prototype real live situations where there's like a working user base. And I keep saying prototype, but it's actually better than that. You can use this to deploy a full-on application that is not the prototype, it's the final thing. So if I log in here, you can see it's authenticated my user account, and I actually checked whether I'm a valid user. And that is pretty awesome. You up to now could not do that with any prototyping no-code tools. So what you're seeing now is just a basic example application. It's a to-do list type of thing. I'm going to create a task. Say, clean my room. It's messy. And let's make it for Sunday at any specific time. So thinking, it's creating the task. Just have to refresh the app quick. There we go. It's sent the request that I made to a database, and it now shows on my app. So this amazing framework allows us very powerful set of tools to do all kinds of fancy data manipulation. I literally showed the guys at Plus Narrative this yesterday, and we're all freaking out about how powerful and flexible this is going to be. It's going to be a good time saver. Just the login part itself is quite a big headache, and usually database authentication and connecting to databases and dealing with logins and users and registration, it's not really a full-on traditional development skill. It's kind of a slightly off the standard path development skill that kind of has to be learned a lot. It's experience-based as well. Yeah, so just looking around the app, I've got a working light and dark mode. I can change my password. This has already been tested. It does actually work. It's going to send a link to my email, which I can use to change my password, and editing profiles. So all these features that we see as normal things in apps are pretty hard to mock up as a designer and like kind of design what our vision is. And now we've got a working tool called Flutterflow, which does all this. And yeah, keep on saying I'm pretty excited about it, but I really am. It's kind of a game changer. I'm just kind of scratching the surface of what's available as well, with just a few bits and pieces of it, but it really goes deep. You can do some very powerful things in Flutterflow.